Let's do it. Love to see it. We got SquidgeLuke up against YungWitch. SquidgeLuke on the Happy Chaos. Sometimes rocks Kai, sometimes rocks the HC. And then YungWitch, she is rocking Ram for our first game too. Very strong character to start us off tonight.
Yeah, this character, actually both these characters are super duper strong. Obviously, we just saw a huge component of Happy Chaos right there, that tap dust gunshot. Incredibly tough to deal with, and even with this front to back combo, still gets enough damage to get the win.
Yeah, the side switch extending your combo can get a lot of things done. Did drop it a little bit at the end there, but you know what, doesn't really matter. W on the board either way. Start off strongly with the tap dust like you were talking about. Trying to FD out is YungWitch, but you know, Happy Chaos sometimes just kind of gets to run Happy Chaos's game. Deus Ex coming through for the hard knockdown. It's like a solid 60% combo.
Yeah, that is pretty typical. Able to get out there with the jump K. And look at this already. Jump K again. Gets that nice little sword mix-up coming through here. Doesn't go for the meaty though, just going for the wake-up grab. Whoa! Counter!
The counter hit doesn't convert though. That one can be a party starter, but had a lot of knockback there. Hard to convert if you're not in the corner on that counter hit. YRC, draw the gun, slap him with the iron. That's
away sometimes. Obviously, he's got other mix like roll through and the Goomba Stomp stuff that is just incredibly difficult to deal with. And his normals aren't exactly anything to shake a stick at. As we just saw there, the 2D coming flying through. And yeah, 55% combo, meterless.
Couldn't quite build a bar. One saving grace for YungWitch. And couldn't quite get the Rekka. Burst whiffs too, so no burst limit gauge refund on that. BRC helps get some space for SquidgeLuke. Pops a focus concentration super. And one more gunshot into focus mode is going to clear it up. Really clean play from SquidgeLuke. Not going to take anything away from them. The character is strong, but you got to play it right too, and Squidge is definitely making that happen.
Yeah, definitely a high execution character between, you know, some of the awkward inputs with their specials, as well as some of the just, you know, mental stack type things you gotta pay attention to with this character, between the bullets, the focus, the tension, everything else with your opponent's burst games. Like, it all matters. But also, run up, tap dust gunshot. It's pretty good too.
It's a good game plan. Sometimes just, you know, focusing on the things being on point early on. YungWitch gotta make it happen here. Already down 0-2. It is still winner side, so you know, got a little bit of breathing room, but never like to go down to losers.
Yeah, no, not round one. You would like to get at least one through. That way, you know, you could potentially have that, you know, onto your belt. But you're right, it is still round one of the tournament. You know, maybe there are some nerves, some shakiness. That was an interesting interrupt there. Just the 5P beating out the flip.
Yeah, the flip has a lot of startup. It has a very, very long time until the active frames kick in, so a lot of characters can choose to go for 5P instead of 6P. If their 6P is a weird hitbox or a little slow to activate as a way to interrupt things like, you know, Giovanna's resets, works on Ram's resets as well. Clash in the air, but Gattle into the gun. One more SquidgeLuke moves on. One more YungWitch needs to show up. 5 PM a counter hit again, and the return off that is so strong for Happy Chaos. Like, yeah, you spent a lot of bullets, but you still have half your bullets left. Got a wall break, get positive bonus. Yeah, all of a 5P just for being aware.
Yeah, it definitely felt a little lopsided in terms of risk reward there, right? You go for flip, you get 5P, and all of a sudden you're on the other side of the wall, and with 100 tension in the back pocket, that should be more than enough to close out the set. Oh no, just a pixel remaining.
OTG bullet didn't quite get it. Rekka in. Has pressure. Rekka whips, that's okay. There it is. SquidgeLuke 3-0.
Have some soul bad guy, Happy Chaos action on screen. And you know, this is a not great matchup, but it's fun to watch at least. It's explosive.
Yeah, I feel like these are two characters who are really interesting to me because they both are very reflective of the pilot's strength. Like, Happy Chaos has a lot of things where if you hit a certain execution threshold, you get to unlock a whole bunch of really nutty stuff. And Soul has to work really hard in order to get that same level of like player expression, but if you can hit it, nutty things happen. That said, SquidgeLuke already proving to be a nutty player tonight, making it happen in round 1 here too.
Yeah, I mean, Soul has been on the receiving end of a fair amount of nerfs for good reason.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really slick, using that 2-frame defensive option to beat out the dust.
But we did see FD immediately kill the soul pressure in the corner, which just, it really hurts.
Ooh.
The instant overhead with the PRC out of the clone counts as a dash backwards, which means you are airborne. Using PRC in that situation means you get an overhead attack. It is really, really good to catch people off guard, usually with BRC, but PRC works specifically for Happy Chaos as a really cool little attack.
Nice burst there as well. And yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Ramlethal the clone, because a lot of people aren't using it as much anymore because of the danger changes that have come along with it. But the meter running out there for SquidgeLuke ran out of concentration, but as soon as it's back, we're right back on the offense. Has that curse applied? Oh, that's pretty meaningful, actually. Oh, he didn't land. That was an airborne DP, which means no follow-up. Gets the counter hit, though.
There was something kind of cool there at the end. SquidgeLuke choosing to go for launching Artorias across the screen, try and win with zoning because Artorias still had burst, basically making it a more burst-safe way to end the round. But Artorias fighting through, using that air mobility that Soul has with that double kick, whose name I forget right now.
Just the 5K.
Yeah.
Which it is, you know, obviously one of the fastest buttons in the game at 3 frames. But Soul Bad Guy has a fairly good couple tools of dealing with the clone, whereas in the last matchup with Ramlethal, she doesn't have the same really expression there to beat the clone full stop. But we've already seen Artorias be able to come through and beat out. Does get caught in the air by that gunshot though. This is gonna hurt.
Has enough for the overdrive. Is this gonna be enough? It's a pretty scaled combo, but yep, Artorias gonna live on just a sliver. The wall damage unscaled, still not gonna be quite enough. Artorias has just enough meter to keep a couple bullets at bay. Needs to convert. Has enough for RC.
No.
Drops the combo. Oh.
I think they. Oh no, they got shot trying to go for the air to air.
Mental.
Yeah. And it does let you carry on into the next game with hopefully a little bit more confidence. And we did see a few mistakes from SquidgeLuke that we didn't see in that first set, right? You know, ran out of concentration a few times there, which especially against a character like Soul Bad Guy that can push pressure and push tempo is hugely problematic because it means you don't have any access to any bullets, any gun type, any gun stuff. You can't even use Deus Ex. So right now we're seeing a lot more zoning and a lot more of that Brain Blast overdrive just to keep Artorias away.
Out of concentration. Artorias found it. On the way in, SquidgeLuke having to use the burst there. Does have meter now. Finds a hard knockdown. Woo! Win for the instant overhead PRC. Didn't find it, but the clone ate the DP from Artorias, giving SquidgeLuke the round. Artorias did manage to hold on to the burst there. Could be important. SquidgeLuke getting that 6K pressure going. DP lands. Artorias says to start something here.
Yeah, no concentration until just now from SquidgeLuke as well. Does get put back into the corner, but I don't think they're going to be that worried. Oh, huge success coming out there from Artorias. Is going to be able to break the wall with the kill as well.
That heavy volcanic viper routing does so much damage. So like you said, got plenty of nerfs, but one of those things that hasn't been nerfed is his damage. Soul Bad Guy still kills you dead as soon as he touches him. SquidgeLuke starting up pressure here. Round of Peace interrupts the roll through, but whiffs the command grab. SquidgeLuke doesn't capitalize yet though.
Yeah, that's super unfortunate here for SquidgeLuke, and the bad burst means that is going to be a game on the board here for Artorias, making the comeback.
Round is kind of just what read are you willing to make. Speaking of which, round start RPS goes in favor of Happy Chaos. Very often walk back there, forces Artorias to whiff, and SquidgeLuke gets to this corner pressure, goes for throw. Haven't seen a lot of throw yet. I like the adaptation though, because after a throw you can get a pretty easy auto time safe jump with Happy Chaos. Artorias has been very willing to throw the DP, getting those safe jumps in to keep your pressure going safely. Very, very important.
Even using the Deus Ex to get through the wall means you do get a little bit of bonus Oki, and taking full advantage of that, SquidgeLuke able to close out the round. And this is a really fun matchup in that regards of like the wall break status, because like Soul Bad Guy doesn't get Oki through wall breaks. Doesn't matter if he uses Tyrant Rave, He just doesn't get it. Only character in the game, by the way.
Speaking of only character in the game, SquidgeLuke getting to run some nasty mix-ups on that pogo jump that no one else gets to run except maybe Eno if you want to be generous, but ooh, these bullet loops really hurt.
Oh, the success!
Perfect. Doesn't matter though, still a perfect in favor of Squid. Yeah, that button does really terrible things to people's life bars if it lands. Like you said, Happy Chaos has definitely been pushed by the developers for being a little bit more of a tricky mix-up rushdown kind of character who also has zone capabilities as opposed to being primarily a zoner. And I don't know about you, but I like character strength aside, I think it's so much fun to watch Happy Chaos get to run their absurd mix situations.
Yeah, I mean, mixed characters in general feel really fun to watch right now, right? Like Happy Chaos, obviously incredible strong, as he does just get obliterated. But we also have chip players looking pretty sick right now. We've seen some really sick Milia play lately.
Bridget has been having a heyday.
Oh yeah,
at least in North America.
Yeah, Bridget players are killing it as well. So super fun to watch, just mix in general. And then you obviously have your strong, solid characters like Testament and Soul Bad Guy still putting up numbers.
Artorias putting up big damage numbers with these frame traps.
Yo!
Baits the burst, has meter, couldn't find a way to close it out.
Not enough.
6H on the OTG, needs one more hit. Gold burst, get the meter, try to close the round out. PRC forced your way in. Stagger pressure, CS into far slash, 2 apiece.
Easy as just saying it like that. You have to do so much more.
There's a lot of work involved in making that happen. English trying to make it happen for one of these two to move on to the next round. First already expended for Artorias.
Tough spot to be in here. We are going to get a couple really nice just blocks, though. Forcing the burst out of SquidgeLuke, who is going to use the clone to great effect.
The clone PRC is really getting mileage in this set. Artorias getting forced back to the corner. We're going to have enough for a wall break. Chooses to reset. Definitely could have gone. Oh no, ran out of it. So SquidgeLuke losing the opportunity. Losing a lot of life too for this. Not quite enough to kill. Artorias needs one more touch. BRC forward for SquidgeLuke. Can't convert entirely. Throws out a clone. You know what? You were at one hit one way or the other. I like that clone usage. Buy yourself the space. Try and buy yourself the round. Tap dust. Thought Artorias was going to go for a burst. One more bullet. He's out of bullets. SquidgeLuke was out of resources again. Artorias closes it out just with basic footsies. 6S that long range, and then with 2S at long range on round start, pushes SquidgeLuke already into the corner.
Oh, and you just concentrated?
That's a misinput. That's a misinput for sure.
You have Soul Bad Guy just bearing down on you, and you go for a think? Nah. Oh, but he chases it down with the 6S. That's still so good. Here comes Artorias trading back with a 6S of their own. Goes for the wall bounce. YRC's blocked!
the YRC!
Oh, but he drops the combo!
Not quite close enough. Stagger pressure of the CS. Didn't let the far S rip when he had the hit. Now it just needs one more 2D. Plain footsies throws Artorias into our top 8 on winners. And then Jack rocking the Happy Chaos. Giovanna, one of the characters that in Season 1 many people were exploring as a counter pick specifically for Happy Chaos, just from her ability to close distance so quickly and her ability to crush projectiles with her spiral arrow kick. We see that pressure getting going. Resetting pressure a couple times, trying to crank the risk, but that flawless defense keeping that at bay. Now Jack run up with the throw to start this pressure.
The timing there was super slick. Was trying to use the backdash there to just try and get out a little bit of pressure, and Jack had the timing down, was able to get that close slash, big punish. And I know that you're talking about how Gio can do so many good things in this matchup, but I got one counterpoint. 6P.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a good one too. Low profile, the 5P check with the 2K. There's that BRC instant overhead I was mentioning earlier. Had 100 bar to dump on this too. And the BRC does really heavily scale your follow-up hits. So the super is not quite going to be enough, even with the unscaled wall break damage, but this is looking dire. K-BoomaFoo out of FD, out of life. Jack not out of concentration, not out of bullets. Closes out the round. That was pretty dominating.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a very frustrating matchup to try and run through because of that long range that you have to fight through as the Giovanna. And yeah, you have the tools like the Spiral Arrow, but 6P can always put an end to it, which can feel really tough. And then when you're blocking, you're spending a lot of this FD just trying to make sure that, you know, you're not getting hit. And it means that you don't have the tension for when you do get the hit to go for an RC or an overdrive or anything like that. So we do need to see a little bit more consistent offense coming in here from K-BoomaFoo. And, you know, it sounds super easy to say this, but just less blocking.
Right.
Ooh, Jack might have heard us talk about 6P.
He's like, all right, bet. I got an idea what I can do with that. These dash cancels, keeping Jack in range to keep this pressure up. Look at that risk gauge. Okay, escapes the corner. Found an opening to fight back, but Jack right back on it. Messes up the BRC overhead. That's okay. That's why we play. Got to test out this tech. Got to make it consistent. The jump in.
And this is going to be an interesting type of way because, you know, Giovanna not having a true reversal DP, meterless anyway, can be kind of overwhelmed sometimes in the counter offense. And I think that's one of her bigger downsides in the current meta of Guilty Gear is that she can't just say, get off of me for free, right? That's why we're seeing, you know, Bridget do so well successfully. You see, obviously, Soul Bad Guy do very well. And sure, there's characters that don't have a DP that are typically top tier, like Happy Chaos, but they have other tools, whereas Geo is just strike, throw, plus frames.
Yep, we do have some plus frames coming through on these Spiral Arrow resets, but Jack's been doing a good job fighting back. BRC overhead, kind of out of a disadvantaged situation. A little bit of a bold move, but you know what? I respect it because it turns out gets you around. That's 2-0 pretty quickly.
Yeah, it is. It's just tough for Geo, honestly. Like she had a little bit more oomph when she was the only character that had the dash cancels. Now that it's a universal thing, as we're seeing Jack play here, once that advantage is gained and chaining these dash cancel combos, it just feels a lot easier to kind of keep the pressure going. And it is definitely frustrating for K-BoomaFoo. Finally gets the hit here, isn't quite able to link that dog slash in though.
And Jack is getting away with whiffing a lot of buttons in neutral. Giovanna can really close the distance, but it looks like K-BoomaFoo is a little reluctant to approach, just because Jack is capable of covering those whiffs in neutral with buttons, right? With the gun being such a safe cover your options option, it can be really hard to know what whiff is punishable and what whiff is just going to get you punished for trying to punish it.
Now they get full screen, couple nice dash blocks, but as soon as it ends, you do get caught up there. Slash coming through, both players having burst still available. Jack gets curse out, but actually gets crushed for it. Oh no, that's the worst possible burst.
So bad. The burst shoving you in the corner after you run around start. Double overhead forces you to burst back. Go back to neutral. Stain wears off. Stain reapplied. Excuse me. I should have known better. Brain Blast comes through.
Gonna be holding on to that curse for a while now. Oh, the 6P just beat out the 5H. 6P is so good. Full upper body invulnerability. Can be so strong in a lot of positions. Does get the hit. Do they have combos? Do we got these? Not enough at the end.
One more hit will do it.
That was so risky.
The cross-up gets one more hit. There it is, another cross-up on the overhead flip kick. K-BoomaFoo finally getting around on the board.
Definitely needed that one.
Even first? Definitely, yeah. You get that momentum in your favor. Going down in winners is never a fun time, but yeah, at least then you got to take a round feels way better. Good challenge with the 2K. Dash in with the far slash, forces the person to Jack.
Nice little dash block coming through. Oh, try to get up and over the clone, but the gunshot just a little too fast. Curse application means that aim assist is kicking in strong. Brain Blast, and to the corner we go, and now you gotta guess.
Ooh, nice challenge with the 5P. Jack has been going for double overheads on those safe jumps pretty frequently. K-BoomaFoo saying, okay, I know what to do with that. I love the idea of the empty jump throw, but slightly out of range means K-BoomaFoo doesn't quite land it. And Jack now looking to convert one more time to take the Brain Blast instead of the Deus Ex, but doesn't matter. 6S was the round out. 3-0 to Jack. K-BoomaFoo started showing some good adaptation.
any of these counter pokes that Itachi's Legacy is throwing out. Wow, the patience to wait for the kite, but still comes down with a button, does Itachi's Legacy. Are we going to stay same side? Yes, we are. We're going to go for the throw on the reset. A second throw? That was going to be 3.
Yes, yes. You always go for 3.